Hello, everybody. This is Ty Myers from Actify. I'm the VP of Sales and Services for our organization, and I have with me our customer, Ted Lukiewski, who is the Director of IT for Mako International. Ted, I appreciate you joining us today. What I'd like to do is be able to talk with you openly, have some discussions about how you're using our services, our SpinFire enterprise services, to enable enterprise collaboration. If you have any comments you want to make in your interaction, feel free. Could you tell us a little bit about Mako?
Yes, Mako International, we're a full service, like the cliche, from art to part. So we have a very large engineering design team. So we take concepts right from 3D printing models to prototype to all the way up to just-in-time manufacturing for most of the automotive OEMs and a lot of the new electric car vehicle manufacturers.
So you're a full service, top tier automotive supplier.
Yes.
What kind of customers are you dealing with?
We deal from the whole gamut, from General Motors, Ford, Tesla, Lucid, many of the other electric car players. Also in 2020, we were the FCA Interior Automotive Supplier of the Year, which was a great honor and a lot of hard work by a lot of our team members. So we have a broad depth and understanding of what it takes to be successful in the design and engineering arena.
That does sound like a great honor. You know, with the OEMs providing information into you as your customer, there's a lot of product data that has to come in. How do you manage and handle that kind of information today? What kind of infrastructure do you have in place?
With all of our OEM customers being a tier one, we have direct access into the traditional OEMs, Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis, their team center, PDM. We also have an internal team center instance. But as the volume of OEM manufacturers with the critical mass of electric car vehicle manufacturers has come on board, a lot of them are using cloud-based PDMs such as CATIA, V6 model. So initially we're struggling with how can we teach some of our consumers of this CAD data, such as functional departments, as purchasing, manufacturing, plant, assembly line workers, quality. So working with Ty and the team at Actify, using a common tool that end users can take a look at conceptual parts, assemblies, and see how the finished part will fit into their particular role. It's really allowed us to focus on one application for those type of users. So for instance, we don't have to, maybe at a manufacturing plant when they get change notices, if we didn't have this common Actify platform, we would have people at the plant that would need to know multiple versions of NX, multiple versions of CATIA, even some Pro E tools, and even some other lesser known third-party design applications. So this has allowed us to focus and make it a lot simpler for the purchasing and manufacturing individuals at plants to be able to look at real-time data and access assemblies and see how things are going to look without having to have the ability to manage 4 or 5 different CAD applications for each facility.
Great. As we kind of transition you from a license model to an enterprise visualization where everybody could have access. Have you found other areas in the enterprise where people wanted that access to the product visualization?
Yeah, that's a great point. So, initially we started off as named users, and it was purchased it and licensed that model. So it was, if you needed it, we'd follow a request, but the cost delta and the change was very nominal. So it made sense to get the floating license, which also freed up a lot of wasted administration time of figuring out who has what seat, how many licenses we have, who's utilizing them, hiring a new employee, we have to get an additional one license. So with that, we freed up a lot of IT resources to manage licensing. And we've also, the change in ad model, proliferated throughout our IT organization because, for example, we lost the task of having to keep track of the licenses. We just have one license file that we have to maintain on a periodic basis. We also would have users. We have approximately 36 locations, so we would have multiple different users input a request to our help desk. They would have to hook up with the user, install the Actify application on their desktop and go through that. Where now we've made Actify part of our standard load. So if anyone gets a Mako PC, we already have Actify as part of the standard product load because we have the licensing to support it. And with that, unbeknownst to us, there's been, the way we like to see it in IT is a from the bottom up type of approach of people creating the demand instead of us trying to explain to them why this is going to help them. So when a new user, a manufacturing technician gets a laptop at one of our facilities, they would, notice that they had the Actify SpinFire product on their desktop, and they would ask initially some questions, and then they realized that they had the ability to take a look at assemblies and change notices, and it gave them a lot more insight into what was occurring in their facility and how changes would affect their specific role in the organization. So it's really freed up a lot of time for IT, and it's also allowed our internal customers a lot better tool to do their jobs.
Oh, that's great. So with this expansion of making that available, is there a higher increase in adoption from people?
Oh, yeah, yes, absolutely. So, before people, obviously it's the automotive and plastics world, so it's sort of a smaller world. People would come from different organizations or from universities they were at, and they would have their go-to product. I need NX on my laptop so I can look at parts files, or I needed Pro E on my desktop, or I need Rhino, or I need, whatever design application they were used to. And we would see piecemeal, gosh, here's a $6,000 license for Rhino. Here's another $12,000 request for an NX license. But with putting the SpinFire product right on the desktop and part of our standard application bundle, users quickly started to migrate to that. And, also just through the vernacular of the plant and working with their colleagues, they would see them utilizing it and ask some more questions. And what we've noticed from, all the users, people that were familiar with other design applications, that they all basically echo little different words, but the ease of use of the SpinFire product, the intuitiveness of the product. We have some training sessions and some documentation on how to use it, but most users that have any familiarity with other products find it very intuitive, and within 15, 20 minutes, they're sometimes showing people that have been here for a while new things to use it with. So it's been a very easy adoptable solution.
Good, good. Recognizing what we've just gone through the past year and a half, dealing with COVID, dealing with people working remote, even in the automotive, people are traveling all the time. And staff seems to fluctuate. You have interns, temps, people coming in and out. This ability to have license access open to you, open access to anybody, has that helped out?
Oh, yes, yes, a lot. For example, some of our purchasing supplier quality individuals, um, working from home, and then subsequently going to some of our suppliers to verify secondaries or tooling equipment. A lot of times it's, other locations don't have the ability to VPN through their network. So the traditional licensing model, if it's on a server, they would be locked down or, unable to open the particular application. But with the SpinFire product, it's very easy to have those guys go on site and being able to look at parts and like you said, sometimes not being in the office for months, things change, and there's a couple instances I can think of off the top of my head where they went and looked at some secondary equipment that they noticed that a particular change was going to not fit in a specific cradle, and some other adjustments were going to have to be made, which were just missed due to the rapid change in the work environment. So it's been very beneficial for our remote users, and especially the remote users that travel to our different stakeholders offsite.
Great, great. Well, Ted, you guys have been a great customer of ours. Always look forward to working with you. I appreciate the time you've given us today, and hopefully our audience has enjoyed this. Thank you again.
Okay, yeah, thank you, and have a good one time. Look forward to talking to you soon.